Ladies and gents, welcome back to another video. Today we are back in the metaverse. We are taking another look at Earth 2 because my god, they've done it. And by that I do not mean they've made the metaverse. By that I mean they've somehow cocked up once again, and this time it feels like it's bigger than all the other ones put together because of what it entails. So for those of you who don't know what Earth 2 is, I'm going to do that YouTuber thing where we give a quick recap. So essentially, Earth 2 is the metaverse, not a metaverse, but the metaverse. Except it's not. It's really not. It's purely a place where you can buy land, which are just JPEGs on a grid. Like you can buy that land if you really wanted to, get a bit of motorway, you know, put a toll road there. I don't know what you'd do with it. And neither does anyone else, to be quite honest, because currently there's nothing to do. They've had some hiccups along the way. They've not done too well. And by the way, there is currently nothing you can do in the metaverse. All you can do in this metaverse is spend money on nothing. So yeah, people have just been royally bent over and shafted with this. Well, you know, it's another week, another massive cock-up. But first of all, in more exciting news, Earth 2 has turned 2 years old. So now we've got a real good gauge of time frame here. It's been 2 years and they've still done essentially bugger all. They've raised over $100 million from the morons putting money into this, and they just keep stringing them along, and they've managed to do it now for 2 years. So congratulations, Earth 2. That is really an achievement. So they've put out this little blog, and let's just take a quick look. November 2, that should be November 2nd. November 2nd, 2022, Sydney, Australia. The month of November 2022 marks the second anniversary of the Earth 2 project. And to kickstart the birthday month, we have the following message from our CEO, Joy, Shane Isaac, which includes a brief recap of the past 12 months. But it's going to have to be brief because they've done nothing. And then what to expect throughout November and beyond. I can't wait. Earth 2 is only in its second year of what will inevitably become an ongoing multi-year commitment to achieve the dreams and goals we officially set out to achieve 2 years ago. While we understand that some of our supporters believe the project is not moving as fast as they would like, and with much of the progress being internal, it is inevitable things will appear or feel slow at times. We do appreciate the patience and support from each and every one of you, and while we are not claiming we have released any jaw-dropping features just yet, sorry, no. That's all they've ever done. All they have ever done is claimed jaw-dropping features, except they're not. They claimed that a water tower that changed colours was proprietary, that this hadn't been done before. They have invented... They have invented dynamic material instances in Unity, which no, they haven't. They're standard. But there's another video covering that anyway. So he's claiming that he's not claiming that anything that they've done is revolutionary or big or jaw-dropping, but that's exactly what they have done.
This specialized 3D object, our 1-to-1 scale digital version of the planet Earth, proprietary shader system. We are building a metaverse, and our goal is to bend logic to make things more interesting and outside the realm of normal where possible.
It's kind of baffling, to be honest. Like, keeping up with any of this is just a mess. So in here, they talk about quite a few things. They try to drag out all of the big points. Like, here we go. The release of our custom staking system via Earth 2 player resource validation initiative. Christ, that's a mouthful. A significant system that not only fulfilled the promise to ensure Earth 2 players have a fair option to claim resources. By the way, this is that whole thing where I don't think anyone knows what they're actually doing with this. But then you've got the release of gold, oil, limestone, coal, iron, which, again, you can do nothing with. The internal release of our manual resource mapping system, which will not only allow us to add... By the way, their internal resource mapping system is literally, you have to tell them, hey, I own some land in Colorado. I'm pretty sure there's gold on it. And then they'll send out like a prospector, you know, Dirty Pete with his pickaxe. Get him to take a few swings at the shitty rock, and if there's gold in there, sure enough, they'll put gold on your plot. The release of user-to-user hollow buildings and blueprint trading system, which includes numerous subsystems that are being improved to cater for not only the future of hollow building creations, but other digital assets. So, this is the bit we're interested in. They mention here the release of user-to-user trading of their hollow buildings. Now, their hollow buildings were just 3D models that were very basic of buildings. And these were the ones that were supposed to be NFTs, and they got immediately funged by me and a few other people, where you could download them and re-upload someone else's NFT, and now you own it. Hurrah, isn't that great? But the idea was that you buy and sell all of these things to and from each other. And this is where Shane's tweet from last night comes out. Just a heads up to maintain transparency for the Earth 2 hollow building creators, as we discovered the original designers of the initial hollow building user-to-user trading system V1 conveniently overlooked design requirements to support limited edition hollow buildings and perpetuating royalty payments for creators, as will be provided in the schedule article. Right, so I just want to point something out here. This hollow building trading system, you could, let's say you, the viewer, buy a hollow building off me. Earth 2 get 2% or 5%, I think it's 5%, of said payment. They take their cut and it's all Gucci. Now, they conveniently overlooked the fact that you, as the person who sold the building, will get paid the sale after sale after sale royalties of said building. How? How can you do that? The sheer incompetence of this one just blinds me. You are programming a marketplace where the seller gets royalties for every sale after, as do you. They, in effect, use the same system, right? How do you forget to give those royalties to the person who's made and created that building, yet you have remembered to enable that for you? What in the ever-living fuck is going on over there? But it gets even better. As well as the ability for players to resell hollow buildings they purchased, as soon as I realised this, I took over personally to ensure those features and others I listed a few weeks ago would be integrated into the system as per my original vision, because royalties were not considered for user-to-user hollow building trading. What? For starters, can we just go back a second? Shane Isaac is taking over the web design. Holy shit. Oh my god. It's like putting a man with no legs on a treadmill. There's no way that's going to work out. Oh, and here we go. Here's the deflect. This was not our dev's fault, as it was simply non-existent in the original design documentation. But you just said it was conveniently left out, as if it's some sort of conspiracy against your web devs. Based on these facts, it means that there will need to be a process of rolling out version 1.1, which may include freezing the hollow building trading system temporarily and slowly migrating, in brackets, clean hollow building creations first before working at the solutions for historically traded creations, especially blueprints. And then, here comes Blame Game Part 2. Some creators rushed in and listed some of their hollow buildings as blueprints on the release of 1.0. But for what I understand, most of the creators held back or only listed their items as hollow buildings, not blueprints. Creations that were not listed or never sold as the blueprint will be considered as clean. So basically saying, oh, we gave you a tool to sell things and you idiots actually went and sold it? Fucking muppets. You gave them a tool to make money off this one thing in this ecosystem that has just been draining them of money. And you try to put the blame on them for wanting to make money. You're absolutely off your rocker, mate. Oh, and I know I keep saying it gets better, but this is the icing on the cake for me before we move on to the important bit. We have plans to push out this update in the near future, and we need to clear the pipeline for raiding which should hit stage 2 at some point this month. By the way, their Discord is hilarious to follow. The word raiding has been mentioned with no pretense of what it's meant to actually be. Like, literally nothing. Just the word raiding. He's been saying it for the last 2 months now, and people are going on about how excited they are to be raiding, yet literally everyone in there has a different idea of what it is. Some people think that people will be able to steal resources off each other. Some people think they'll be fighting creatures. Some people think it'll be a World War III simulator. Like, and they're all arguing with each other like a bunch of squabbling nursery kids. Yet none of them are right. Because it doesn't exist yet, and no one knows what it is yet. Now, I wanted to round this out with an interesting point. Like a really interesting point. Hollow buildings were supposed to be NFTs. Which is great, right? Non-fungible, woohoo. Bing bong, woohoo. But a little tidbit here is that NFTs already have a royalty system built into them. It's very commonplace on things like Rarible, OpenSea, and other marketplaces for NFTs. So how have they messed up that? Well, judging by their fix for this, which is migrating everything over, they're not using NFTs again. This crypto-based Web3 Metaverse blockchain kerfuffle soup is still not using any of those buzzwords, except soup, I guess. Soup for brains. Okay, so here's another interesting part of this thread. Jason Holdings, who is quite a high-ranked person on the leaderboards of how much money they've dumped into this pit. Many of its designers are trying to understand how it can be justified that Earth 2 takes 5% commission, yeah, I thought it was 5%, on hollow buildings for initial sales and resale, in addition to the cost of placement, as well as the 2.5% for withdrawals when royalties are only 1.5%, tile sales are only 2.5%. And he's right. How can you justify that when the chance... Oh, well, I'm going to read Shane's response because it speaks volumes. I appreciate the message, but at the end of the day, we also have a business to run. It's not free to build these features. Counter-argument, maybe look at the App Store/Play Store and others that charge 30% of after teams spend hundreds of hours plus tens of thousands of dollars on their creation. Now, Shane, there's a difference here. That money will be recouped really fast on the App Store because the App Store gets lots of purchases and sales. You have created a marketplace for nothing, and you are asking people to buy the nothing off someone else. They're not getting many, if any, sales, and then you're scraping a huge commission off the top of it for the model that they made. They're not even reselling an in-game asset that you've made. They had to make the entire thing. Oh, ladies and gents, it racks my brain. Every time I look at this, it utterly racks my brain. I enjoy keeping up to date on Earth 2 and all its nonsense, as I'm sure you guys do too, because, my God, it really is like watching a bull in a china shop. Except the bull's completely blind and has 3 heads and only 2 legs. Anyway, ladies and gents, that is all for this video. Thought I'd keep you updated. If you enjoy these videos, make sure to hit like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know if you can find any other dodgy projects like this. I've got another Metaverse I'm covering this week, or next week, should I say. It's going to be an interesting one, trust me.